Welcome, REL Div 10B. I'm Sace here with your Week 2 recap, or Week 1 recap, and leading into Week 2. Joining me this week is your own fellow coach 130 of the
Hey
Face
there.
Your Fears, or Conquering Your Fears High Elves. And joining us from, well, the division across the pond, but still on our side of the water, Toast Guy. Is it formerly of Interdimensional Bullshit?
Interdimensional bullshit now, yeah.
Are you undead now?
I am undead now.
Oh, at least you're not Necro. Toast Guy's here to help us recap and talk about High Elves. So if you're listening, other High Elf, who's the other High Elf? Spicosaurus?
A-grain.
A-Grain.
A-grain, yeah.
If you're listening, A-Grain, now's your chance to start taking notes. Alright, let's break down last week. A-Grain, one of our bash coaches turned elves, takes a 2-1 against the East End Geezers. It's always nice, especially when you can come out against Chorf strong. But the big one here is Paul Walker went down in flames. Really just crashed and burned. Ate the MVP and got away all fast and furious like.
That's excellent material for spur of the moment stuff.
Isn't it? Feel free to make a Paul Walker dead joke because we've got we've got time. But
His whole team is like tempting fate. All dead people.
Yeah, I like dead people for my undead teams, like Black Stabbeth and whatnot. But, yeah. With elves, it's a little too on the nose, you think?
It's an uneventful game as elves if you don't lose at least a player.
It really sucks to lose the thrower, though, with a MVP. And
It also looks like he's missing a catcher next game, too.
Paul Walker. Wow, Paul Walker had 9 SPP that game before he died. All the SPP on him is from this single game. So what is that? A touchdown, a Kaz, and... No. What did he get? MVP, a pass, and then touchdown. Yeah, that's it. Thoughts, 130? Did you watch this game?
I didn't watch it, but I heard him talking about it afterwards, and I take that back. I did go over and watch it because I have to deal with Wedge this week, and I wanted to do my homework. And he was trading blow for blow, and a lot of his plays were just trying to keep the dwarves in check, or I'm sorry, dwarves in check, as he was trying to split them up. And he paid for it pretty dearly, but no, it was really aggressive play, and walked away with the win at least.
I will say, I don't know about you guys, I like Agi teams against early Chorf. I think it's a really easy game.
If you can spread the field, yeah.
Well, let's run through these games here. The Tolerant left, I love that. And your game 130, how'd that go against the Zons? As boring as we'd expect?
A little, mostly because I didn't have my tackle yet, and I was playing a little conservative against the Amazons, not really having a lot of experience against them, and even less experience playing High Elves. So I was taking a lot of blitzes with my blitzers as opposed to doing 2-die blocks with linemen than I could have gotten away with, but I was just trying to hunt either the power or the both down to do some kind of damage. But didn't come out with a whole lot. I think I only got... I did get 2 casts that game, but everything was pretty much just badly hurt. Or he did walk away with a niggled piece. Or is that just an MNG with a fractured arm?
We'll take a look at it in just a second here.
I think you made the right call. Amazons are a tough matchup for elves early, it seems like.
Alright, next up is Rabble Leader People, which has the best guessing game. And California Love. I watched this one. This one was really well played by Spicosaurus. California Love got punished by the lack of tackle, piling on before tackle on the Mighty Blow Blitzer. And while I did not think Spicosaurus picked the right inducements, he played it well by fouling and just abusing the fact that he's got the stronger early team.
he built these Amazons with the purpose of fouling. Having a roster of 13 has been his plan from the start. And it's what he came out of the Greenhorn with, but he's been trading MNGs on his girls, so he hasn't had the full roster yet this season.
A little surprised he took wrestle on 2-line women before taking Dirty Player, though.
Well, you got to get him on the ground to get the boots on him.
That's true.
A boot's a boot. Sometimes, it's a dirty boot. Well played by Spikosaurus. Next we have Reality Kings versus the As Correct Axe Grinders. That was my excited Lumi match of the week. Raven Poe, the least anticipated coach, or one that people least wanted to play, and Superfed, the coach that people most wanted to play this season, duked it out. No deaths, but it was hilarious. I love watching Fed play Kislev. If you haven't yet, Toast, go watch some of those games. They are comedy gold.
I will. I like Superfed. I limited contact with him, but everything I've seen of his has been very funny.
Yeah, but he's a garbage human that nobody likes.
Kislevs do bring out a special kind of salt in him, and I love him for it.
To be fair, he plays Kislevs as I think you should not play Kislevs. He plays Kislevs without leaping every turn and safe. I think you're going to play Kislev, you just go balls to the wall and get silly with it. But
Play him like Frogman.
Surly Sully and Big Naturals both take a level up, and it was a pretty resounding win for Ravenpoe to start out the season. Hopefully he'll keep that unwanted coach play reputation going. And finally we have Yield Guard versus Festering Swords, which threw me off because Festering Swords is the Rat team and Yield Guard is the Nurgle team.
That is confusing.
Yeah. But MVP on a Stormvermin is always nice. Burns is a vanity pass away from a level. Great input, guys.
Yes.
Tell us more how you love line rats. Toast. Toast was telling me that he values line rats.
Well, I think they're one of the most underappreciated pieces. I mean, they really do so much for their team by getting hit in the face and dying a lot.
MVP
They're supposed to do the same job as elf linemen, but they're expected to do it with agility 3.
Works for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of good MVPs this first week here. Everybody's kind of getting what they want, except for Paul Walker.
Yeah, it's a big exception.
Real shame there. All right. Those are the matches for the week. Let me look at my screen here. Levels up and deaths. We're going to teams. California Love, first up on the list. I don't think there was a level up. But the big thing was Sandy, the Agi 4 human catcher, ate a movement bust. So everybody rejoice about that one. And a missed next game on the Blitzer for whoever gets him next.
But with agility 4, do you still make do?
Yeah, I keep that all day. Agi
But
4,
he's just less effective.
Agi 4 and an Agi 3 team. Yeah, he's gonna have to take like a strength bust before I get rid of him.
He's kind of going to take up the role of the thrower in one's absence.
He could buy a thrower if he wanted, but I doubt he will. Either way, Superfed, there was a level up on a lineman. I'm assuming it was Big Naturals and it's a wrestle. I like wrestle.
Yeah, never couldn't have too much wrestle on Kislev.
Got the mighty blow, got the block, got the guard. I love leaping guard. It's nice it's in the Agi 4 leap too. If he can get Money Talks into a cage and follow it up with Captain Stabbin or MILF Hunter, probably MILF Hunter. He's got some
MILF Hunter for sure.
He's got some great diving potential. And no one really did. Full healthy team, so I don't know what he likes to whine about.
Well, now that he's starting to get those core skills in, he could probably get closer to that playstyle you're waiting for him.
No, I don't think he will. I think he's one of those safe Kislev coaches. Yield Guard and Yayo MVP on the Nurgle Warrior did not get him a level up, but still looking strong. 2 block, 2 mighty blow, nothing's changed. We're moving on to Hindi and the Festering Sores. Hindi also had a rough week with a movement bust on his thrower. That's a toss for me. What about you boys?
Yeah, I'd toss that too, especially with 140k in the bank.
I never rebuy throwers either. Like, you can start with a thrower, but once you get block on a gutter runner, you don't need him. Once he dies, he's gone.
I've had limited Skaven experience. I started with a thrower and a rat ogre, so nothing I say could really chime in on that.
Well, at least you know when not to chime in.
I have one unsuccessful experiment.
I say fire the thrower, pick up 2 more line rats, and you're looking good.
Oh, I think we need a rat ogre on this team. Absolutely best piece in the game.
You heard him, Hindi. Toast Guy, former Div 1 player, as Gengar has pointed out, is the most important thing. Says get a rat ogre. Have you won any one-day tournaments, Toast Guy? Because Gengar has.
Yes, so many.
See?
Definitely more than 0.
Get a rat ogre. Raven Poe had a level up on the MVP. Where are we at here? Surly Sully, guard. I like the build. More guard. Guard. I think we learned through Rodog and Motley that guard wins more than Mighty Blow.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way too.
Yeah, Mighty Blow's flashy, but always take guard. That's my key. That's why it should
He's already got.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. He's already got Agi on a runner, so he's halfway to having Herringzord's crazy runner guy, Optimus Prime.
What's Herringzord's crazy runner guy got?
Oh, he's gone now. Retired, but he made it up to Agi 5, and I think Blodge too.
What is it with the dwarves and the double stat-ups? There's been at least 3 double strength-up dwarves that I've seen in the past week.
Those are gross. Those are fucking gross. Somebody who hates dwarves more than anything.
Not a fan of the dwarves?
I've seen my elves smashed to bits way too many times to like dwarves.
Yeah?
I've done the smashing way too many times not to hate them, or not to like them.
See, it just depends on which end of the smashing you're on. Let your girlfriend know. Next up is the coach that nobody wants to say his name on stream, Spicosaurus. Had a great first round. Was there a level up? I didn't think I saw one. Line Woman got the MVP, Small Monkey Parrots. But they're all looking good. Hopefully the fouling keeps working for him.
He did get a level up. It's a second wrestle piece.
Oh, 2 wrestle. Well,
yeah, 3 good fighters got 2 Kaz last game.
I love that name. So, if you haven't seen Toast Guy, this is a team named after all the admins.
I'm sorry, 1 Kaz, 2 passes.
So, 3 good fighters is Ninja Pirate Assassin.
Those are 3 good fighters. Who's Small Monkey Parts?
That is Monkey Chunks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Poor Monkey's Debt Monkey. Shiny Guys Lumi. Just so everybody was messaging me and continues to message me, Zach is Wark. Superfed was right. Everybody else who messaged me was wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, everyone from the Rookie League picked up on that one.
No one cares about your goddamn Rookie League 130. Speaking of the Rookie League, if you're watching this video and you're new to Blood Bowl, please check out the Rookie League. Home to all the great coaches that want to teach you how not to suck. Also, because I still think I have to plug it, check out the Fantasy League, run by Schleiss. Bet on your favorite or least favorite players, and, I don't know, shit talk people. Let's move on. We're keeping this going at speed. We're not looking at your team 130, because we're going to talk about it. That's what we're doing today. Wedges, though, is still gross. Kind of sucks.
Claw's new, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it kind of sucks he rolled doubles on the first one because Claw before Mighty Blow is rough, but you got to take it. Doubles where you can get doubles.
Yeah. What do you think about the AV Bust Hobgoblin with Dirty Player? Do you keep that until you get another one leveled, or do you axe that right away?
To be fair, any Hobgoblin eating an MVP is going to piss me off. So I really don't think Fire Emblem is going to matter because, you know, if any Hobgoblin gets an MVP, I'm not going to be happy about it. So might as well keep putting the boot to people. I say keep him. You?
Yeah, I love the DP. Just
I'd let him keep doing his job. He's got everything he needs. He doesn't need the armor.
Yeah. For an elf coach, you really are pro fouling there, Toast.
I am. I've newly discovered the joys of fouling, playing undead.
But
it's like my eyes have opened for the first time.
It's fun having cheap fouling pieces. That's why I've been enjoying Khemri. But Wedge is known for re-rolling often and rolling really great teams. How he pilots those teams is up to speculation. But he levels them real nice. So
he's already got a Blodge Bull Centaur. That's quite nice.
And a plus movement one. So Claw's nice. Got a ball carrier. He's got everything he needs to get rolling real strong, and he's stacking the guard, as I think you should. Maybe get one Mighty Blow, but it'll be good for next season. The Claw really doesn't have a whole lot of work for him other than Raven, Poe, and Yayo.
Yeah, this is a very agi division, or very low AV at least.
So, Toast, this is the division of the Bash coaches that wanted to give agi a try.
I like that. That's
exactly
good.
It.
Experimentation is good.
Well, that's the only way. You know, Eternal Leagues kind of tend towards Bash, so people wanting to try out agi is always a good thing, in my opinion.
Perpetuates the cycle.
I always need elves to kill, so somebody's got to level them up. Tolerant left, drunk or not. I love this team.
No new levels after his last game, though.
The agi 4-line woman was there? Yeah, she was there last time.
I like that he's building a passing thrower. I appreciate the balls.
And he's got the catch and catcher.
And those won him the game, or at least got him the tie, too. 5+ dodge into a GFI, and then a 5+ pass into a 2-up catch.
I always like that there's a team. Angela Davies and Ludmila Pavlichenko.
She does look like a Ludmilla also, if you mouse over her.
Well, actually, they both look the same. They have the same face.
Twins separated at birth.
Twinsies.
It's like they have the same stats.
Oh, exciting stats. All right, Drunken Knight team's looking great. This is a good development league. And Agrain, our other high elf team, feel free to chime in how you feel about this one, Toast Guy.
Well, I mean, losing the thrower is bad. He's got some... I mean, any Blodge really is quite nice. He's already got both of his catchers to dodge, and he's got one close to either Blodge or Raj. So that's nice. I wouldn't take any more than 2 before you've gotten both of those 2 protected. But, yeah, definitely not as developed as the other high elf team in this div.
Yeah.
He was putting a lot of weight behind leveling his thrower that match, and the death hit him pretty hard, especially taking the MVP with him.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. Looks like he didn't have a full greenhorn, so that's probably why he's behind on development.
There was a couple coaches, I think, that only had 2. So, all right. Now, what we've all been waiting for. I'm calling this my coach highlight of the week. 1:30, we're looking at Conquering Your Fears, the team that makes me uncomfortably close to you. Let's get in there.
Come on in, the water's fine.
So, this is... How many games is this in? 5? Did you get a full greenhorn 1:30?
I did.
5 games in, Toast Guy. I need you to take the wheel from me and break it down. What do you like about it?
I love the Agi plus Agi Blitzer. That's close to getting Leap, and then you can take Strip Ball, or maybe Strip Ball first. I don't know what your intent is. But that's a great piece. The Mighty Blow Catcher, if you can protect it long enough. I mean, everybody's going to be trying to kill that, but Mighty Blow on High Elves lets you hit back a little bit, and any pieces you can remove as High Elves make your job way, way easier. So that's a good pickup, too. I would like to know about your intent for your thrower, though.
So I started off with the 3 reroll thrower double blitzer build, and the thrower by default became more of a defensive piece. So to help pick up the slack where I needed to reinforce holes in the screen, but couldn't spare a blitzer, he became my gap filler when he didn't have the ball.
Okay. Are you planning to pick up a second thrower for more like deep lying passing duties?
Maybe not for a little bit. I'm more looking forward towards getting this guy accurate, hopefully after the next match, and if everything works out, deciding on what the next piece is going to be to try and expand the bench.
Yeah. Okay. So you are planning to use this guy as a throwing thrower, not a ball carrying, or I mean, you do ball carry a little bit when you're throwing, but you do plan to throw the ball with them.
Yeah, and I just didn't get anything super great in the first level, or in the first roll, just with the normal. So I guess I needed that sense of the familiar.
Yeah, it is. It's tough to play with just 2 block if you're used to playing with some more. Um, I guess another question I have: your first line elf leveling. What do you take?
Kick, I know that answer.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Are we quizzing
Good.
now? So, are you a proponent of double thrower high elves, Toast Guy? Or just because the other one was not being built out to throwing as you originally had?
It depends. I when I was developing interdimensional bullshit, they started out in a league that was like 50% elves. So I kind of built a second thrower as a third blitzer and gave him blodge, tackle. I think he ended up with diving tackle as well, and that actually worked out fairly well. Really, my main priority for throwers with high elves is giving them accurate first, and then hoping for a double so you can take strong arm or agi up or anything like that. Because I think high elves, their job gets way easier when you can sit your thrower way back and kind of wait for the play to develop without having to devote pieces to protecting him a lot. So I really like the deep lying thrower for high elves.
So, do you want 2 then to level up and get 1 doubles, or?
I mean, you don't have to. It depends on how much money you have to spend, really. I mean, with high elves, everything's expensive. You lose a lot of pieces. So I would say having 2 catchers and a full bench is more important than a second thrower. But if you do have the money to spend, I think with high elves you kind of just have to embrace the bloat and make for as good of a team as you can. Just kind of accept that you're going to be up in the higher ranges of TV generally.
Yeah, they haven't really been as TV efficient as a lot of other teams. Something that Squiggy was trying to impart upon me before the season started. So, but his style with any given elf team is just to run away with stat ups and SPP.
Yeah, the harder decision for me is whether to take a stat up on a line elf. And I know that might not be a popular opinion, but like I mean, strength up obviously you take on whatever piece gets it, but agility up I'm not sure I'd take on a lineman.
How do you like to build your linemen?
I give them dodge first because I find most of the time line elves for me are just the front line of the defense, or just kind of getting in the way of opponents. I don't do a lot of hitting with them, so dodge lets them reposition more easily. And then if they do make it to level 3, which is kind of rare, I give them wrestle. So you have a Raj piece that kind of creates holes in your opponent's attack or defense or whatever, but on their turn. So you can stand up and move wherever you're going to move while they are still on the ground.
Well, I tend to agree with the dodge first, and nice to see your own Raj. I would have expected more blodge, but always good. 130, you were about to say something.
And just getting both dodge and wrestle later on, you were saying, for the 3rd level? Sounds like a mini Moranian that you'd like to have around.
Yes. I do like Moranian. Actually, I take Moranian a lot playing as high elves. I'm not sure if that's the right decision, but just having a strength 4 piece to kind of bust holes is quite nice. I had a strength up catcher on interdimensional bullshit that made my life a lot easier. He's been respawned as a mummy in my undead team, which has the same theme.
Always nice. So, we've talked about the thrower and where he should go from there. We talked about the blitzer and maybe being elite, but probably being a ball hawk no matter what. What do you think of the mighty blow catcher?
I like it. I would, if you can feed it a couple touchdowns, then you can use the catcher for blitzes, unless you're going after the ball, obviously, in which case you'd go with the agi piece. But like I said, I mean, mighty blow it's rare to have on elf teams, and you appreciate it when you got it. It's just going to be a question of whether or not you can protect it until it gets block and hopefully dodge as well.
I suppose the cop-out answer is I already have to protect it because it's a high elf catcher and everyone's already gunning for the armor 7.
Yeah, well, if you thought they were gunning for the armor 7, if you see an armor 7 mighty blow piece with no block and no dodge, that is a salacious target.
So it pretty much guarantees that if I want to keep him doing that job, I need to get him block next, and dodge isn't going to show up until his 3rd skill.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Another thing you could do is use him as that salacious target to kind of draw people out of position. Sometimes exposing an inexpensive piece can be a good thing. I mean, it's risky, but if you use it in the right situation, that can be a strong tactic too.
What's the saying? It's not a sacrifice if it wasn't valuable?
Well, that's something. So you're thinking block, then dodge, and go from there?
Yeah, I take block, then dodge on him. As far as other development goes, not necessarily for him, but you can't have enough sidestep on elf teams. I love having sidestep to kind of both clog up running lanes and then also put pressure on when you get late in a defensive drive and you need to switch from playing passive to playing aggressive. Lots of sidestep makes your opponent's job really hard. So spam that sidestep.
So what's your normal leveling up path for a catcher then?
Let's see. Well, I'd like to build one. I usually go dodge, block, or dodge, wrestle. And I kind of like to have 2 of each if you ultimately get to having 4 catchers, which can be tough. And then after that, if it's a dodge block piece, I'll take sidestep and then kind of build from there. If you get a lucky agi up, you can give it leap. If you don't, then diving tackle if there's any agility. Like there's a fair bit of agility in this division. I'm not sure what your divisions will look like in the next couple seasons, but diving tackle can be useful. And the wrestle pieces, I take tackle after dodge and wrestle.
All right.
How difficult do you find it whether to choose to take a stat up while you're in the middle of getting your core skills on these pieces?
It can throw a wrench in your plan, but I think the reward for taking it and then successfully protecting that piece until they do end up getting dodge and block or dodge and wrestle is absolutely worth it. The obvious exception being armor up, which you should never take on any piece ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oop, you back?
He was gone and he was back, and he's from the rookie league, so he clearly needs to take armor up.
But movement on a catcher is fantastic, and then strength and agility are even better. So I definitely take the stat up unless it's in armor.
130, you back with us, buddy?
Yeah, my Discord crashed there. Sorry about that.
No problem.
No worries. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat? I don't know what's good for the podcast.
Right as you started, but that's okay. I can listen back to it.
He said, don't take any stat ups. Always go with the normal builds.
That is patently false.
Who are you gonna believe? The recap or just some random dude I picked up out of the Discord?
Would I lie
Clearly the random
to
dude.
you?
Would I lie to you, 130?
Absolutely.
You are correct. I would absolutely lie to you. All
If
right.
that's a lie, you're really sweet.
So, where would you look? Or let's go about this a different way. 130. Where do you hope to have this team at the end of your first season? Because you're one of my few coaches who answered my survey with a yes. You're planning on keeping this team.
I figure being how high elves like to bloat at and perform better at high TV, there's no point to me doing this experiment if I don't at least keep them for 2 seasons and develop all that. I'd like to see them as numerous as they are now, at a minimum. But as far as development goes, I have 3 blitzers apparently, so now I have to build at least 2 catchers that are going to be more based around the ball, and just hoping that I can get dodge on them as opposed to another set of doubles that I might have to ignore.
All right. Toast Guy, you have a team
Yes.
with an Agi 5 blitzer, a Mighty Blow catcher. Where are you looking to be at in another 10 games?
I would aim to have both of those pieces still alive. That's a good goal to have.
Small steps.
Yeah, small steps. I think the development's looking really good right now. More SVP to catchers, but that's going to come. That's kind of just the natural way of things with high elves. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. So I'd hope to have Snakes and Surviving REL 2 both up to level 4 and 3. So Snakes up to level 4 with probably Lodge. And then maybe another catcher with Dodge, or at least on the way towards being an effective player. As far as linemen go, aim to have a kicker, but I think that'll happen in the next game or two. Looks like you got letting Squiggy down just one vanity pass away from that. And yeah, if you can end the season with 12 pieces, I think that's decent. You're not going to get a huge bench with high elves generally, but yeah.
True words of wisdom from an elf coach. Survive the season. Well,
Yeah, I think it's
clearly I'm already aware of that risk with that surviving REL 2 already being my my first casualty. But yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Surviving REL 2 like Div 2. It's Surviving REL the second.
Correct. And that jersey number started as a lineman, and I kept it empty so that when I had enough money to buy the lino back, I could fill it in. But I really wanted a catcher and didn't have money to do both, so I just let the name travel with the number.
Well then.
he's upgraded, yeah.
So, we've talked about high elves. Now we're going to jump back to the league proper. A-Grain, I'm sure you're going to want to check this one out. And we're going to look at Week 2, which has not been played. We have Dead Elves Passing versus Ye Old Guard. So, lots of Mighty Blow for A-Grain to look out for, but no tackle. Then again, he doesn't really have the blodge yet. So, could be a rough start for your fellow elf coach.
Maybe, but at least there's no better time than now to get that Nurgle match in.
Any advice, Toast, for early high elves getting past Nurgle?
Well, take the wizard. Looks like he'll have the inducements to do that. And playing down in TV as high elves with a wizard is really not nearly as bad as it sounds. So if he can poke the ball loose and get one touchdown, that should be enough to just kind of play conservatively, score quickly on his own drive, and hope for as few casualties as possible.
There you go, A-Grain. Never say I didn't do anything for you. Next up is Reality Kings versus Festering Sores. Superfed, who has a bounty on all his leveled up players, just reminding you, gets a bash-free week against the Rats. It's pretty equally Agi-like teams. Maybe the Mighty Blow one will get to do some work. Following that, we have California Love. The humans get to go up against the most feared Poe. Humans and dwarves. So exciting. Next up is the Tolerant Left, one of the 2 Amazon teams, versus Rabble Leader People. It's an Amazon off. How do you guys feel about Amazon offs? Yeah? Boring? I can't tell if that was an actual yawn or you're just bored. You're really good.
I'm an actor.
An actor. 130?
I'm the Drunkernuts roommate, so we talk about this kind of stuff often, and I'm looking forward to seeing him try to put that tackle blitzer of his to use.
Wait. You're playing in a div with your roommate?
Yeah, and that happened once before, back when we were both in REL 2.
You know, if he kills one of your elves, you can just run in and just give him a dead leg.
He's actually the much better martial artist out of the two of us, so
Oh.
you say that.
Kung Fu Bros. Then, as a man who used to play games with a pair of identical twins, hit him with a folding chair. It always works.
That's an effective martial art for sure.
Used to play with twins, and one of them got mad at the other, so he hit him with a folding chair. It was the best. And finally, on the week, we have the East End Geezers versus Conquer Your Fears, 130. You get to fight. I don't remember who the East End Geezers. You get to fight Chaos Dwarves. Wedge.
Yeah, Wedge. And I'm looking forward to it because he doesn't have that Mighty Blow piece yet. I'm hoping I can get through it relatively unscathed.
But he's got that claw piece, and it's so useful against your AV8. Wink,
It
wink, nudge,
does kind of act like a Mighty Blow piece as far as that goes, but maybe if I'm lucky, he'll be a little shaken from A-Grain's play last week, and hopefully I could take advantage of it.
Oh,
And
cool.
if not, then damn.
So, Toast, is there any game, if you had to watch one game out of 10B this week, which one would you watch?
I want to see the Agi 5 Blitzer in action against Chorfs. 'Cause I get a sexual thrill out of seeing High Elves beat Chorfs, and I think there's a good chance of that coming this week.
Well, at least we're on opposite sides of the coin, because I get all my sexual thrills from killing orbs. Or elves. 130, a match you're interested in?
I already said mine. I'm looking forward to the Zonoff.
The Zonoff. Nobody likes the Zonoff. Let me look over here as we decide on our Excited Lumi Game of the Week. Huh. I'm going to go with, let me pull it up here. My Excited Lumi Game of the Week is going to be Dead Elves Passing versus the Ye Old Guard. A-Grain's a little battered right now, and honestly, one of the furthest behind in development. I want to see how he makes it past Nurgle and keeps going strong. So that is my Excited Lumi Game of the Week. And boys,
In the worst case, you still get to see elves die,
yeah,
and you're still happy.
it's a great time. Also, if you don't know Tosca, I have a audio clip of Lumi sounding very excited and squealing. I'll send it to you.
Can I hear it?
Yeah, let me. I can just send it to you on Discord here, and you can use it for
Okay.
anything you want to because it is my favorite. All right, boys. I think that's it. Let me look over my notes here. We've touched on everything. That's your Week 1 recap. Going into Week 2, this has been Sace, and 130 and Toast Guy joining me. Feel free to say goodbye, folks.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Bye. This was great.
All right. See, everybody has fun. And good luck out on the pitch, boys.